This part is
It was like fucking. It was like fucking you watching a couple of kids playing doctors and nurses. I swear to God, it was that fucking in your face bullshit.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it? The funniest one was Trudeau lately, and he went to this chemist. He's not wearing his mask because he's talking to the chemist. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Yeah, bro, you come over here, sit down, and have your shot." He sat down, he put his mask on, had his shot, and then as soon as he stood up, he took his mask off again. He's like, "What are you doing?"
wow.
They're talking
Sam,
to the camera. Like,
you need to send me that clip, Sam. You need to send me that clip. We're putting that in here for sure. We're putting that in here, man. Just a picture of it.
Hilarious. I'm like, how just completely ridiculous do you have to be? I mean, they're trying to bring the mask mandates back in Canada, aren't they, and America for because COVID numbers are back up. Yeah, they will be. It's flu season.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, they disappeared, didn't they?
Yeah.
They disappeared.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, well, what gets me is that the UK government in 2020, October 2020, they told you basically that they were going to combine the flu and the COVID numbers together. Yeah, and the reason being was because they weren't getting the numbers. Yeah, and then everyone forgot about it. They said, yeah, we're going to do this from September, end of September to April. Yeah, beginning of April. Well, that just so happens to be all the flu season. Yeah, and then next thing you know, that 2021, the same thing happens, but they didn't tell us. Yeah, this time that they were going to combine the numbers. They just did it very quietly, and all of a sudden the numbers are back up, and COVID's coming on. People are dying left, right, and centre. Oh, come on.
For the 10, I think it was. I saw a graph, and I think for the 10 years prior, flu numbers were averaging about 60,000 deaths a year. Yeah. So they were throwing 60,000 because fucking in the years, I think 2020 and 2021, there was fucking 0 recorded flu deaths. You know what I mean? So they're throwing that's 60,000 on both years. They're thrown in to bump the numbers up and fucking scare the shit out of people.
Well, another thing they were doing as well, there's footage of this Belgian guy who was in charge of the sort of pandemic sort of response back in when I think it was swine flu in 2008, 2009, something like that. And he was saying that what you do is you basically just give the press the actual death figures, just the normal death figures, because they always sound quite horrendous anyway. Yeah, when you think about the size of the population, and then the actual people the normal amount of people that dies, it's always quite high. And he said all you do is you just keep giving them those numbers, but instead of sort of starting again every month, like starting from 0 again, you just carry it on. You just roll them on and roll them on and roll them on, and those numbers just keep mounting up and mounting up and mounting up, and it gives the impression that there's actually a lot of people dying, but all it is just the normal death figures. Yeah. It's like,
remember all the daily reporting though? The fucking the Prime Minister comes on the telly and fucking makes the announcement of how many people have died on that fucking day, and it was fucking horrible, man.
Yeah. Well, all right. Okay. Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
What was that guy, Cuomo? Do you remember Cuomo? He was on every day. We've just got to do this to the curb and flatten the curb. And guys, everyone needs to remember this, because as this rolls out, if me, Sam, even Andy's thinking about this in this way, loads of people are. If this rolls out, people need to go back to those days and go, this is how much some of these people lied. This is how complicit they were.
I think this is one of the reasons why YouTube have been taking down all my old videos, because I had loads of like clip compilations, news clip compilations, and interviews with people and stuff like that, all put together, but all in like a chronological order, so that they like just showed things that were going on like up until that point. And they took loads of them down, loads of them down, and like they're giving me an extra strike. This is how I got like 9 points. Like, but they're taking down like 20 in my videos, just all the early stuff. Yeah,
you got them stored on a hard drive.
Some of them are on BitChute. Some of them I've lost. Like, but I've got some on BitChute, some on Odyssey now.
Might be worth doing a box set, Sam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, BitChute won't let me upload anymore for some reason. Every time I go to try and upload to BitChute, it won't let me. Like, which is really annoying. Rumble. People say that Rumble don't censor. That's a lot of bollocks because I've had loads of videos taken down on Rumble. Yeah. And Odyssey, they limit the amount of the actual size of the files that you upload. Yeah, you've got to have a certain amount of subscribers before they'll bump that up. Like, so I can only put videos on that are like either half an hour maximum or I think it's a maximum of like 600 meg or 700 meg, something like that. And all my earlier videos are like an hour and a half long.
But they move the fucking goalposts.
Yeah, so it's like shit.
Think to yourself though, wouldn't it make more sense if they let everyone just put on loads of vids? Because that would obviously get you more subscribers if you had longer vids and everything. So it's a bit shady that that's done like that. But there must be some logical reason from their end. But Sam, I've seen some of your videos get whipped off, man, and I'm like, where's that vid gone? I'm searching for him. Like, honest to
God, I used to upload a video, right, and within 2 or 3 hours it'd be gone. Yeah, like literally. I mean, this last one that got took down, that Amnesty one, I was surprised it was for 48 hours. I really were. But got 46
that was a good vid as well, man.
Oh yeah. They're
all good vids, but I think it's the content. Sometimes I think with what you're discussing, you don't fuck about, mate. So you don't mess about. So you just go straight in, and you're just talking about what's going on and the facts and Rishi Sunak. And I think I was surprised it was up for 48 hours, that one. I really was. Because I was like, he's gone at Rishi here, man. He's gone at all of them. He's smashed them to bits, all of those people in that one.
Did you see that video? Rishi Sunak? I think it was his early days, and he sat there with his old man.
Yeah.
He's
I don't know any people.
He's talking about his friends. I've got friends who fucking upper class friends and lower class friends, and he corrected himself. He says, "Well, maybe not lower class, like he's fucking that's beneath him." The fucking dirty, slimy bastard. I saw him on a fucking. He was up like on a cruise ship or something, fucking partying in Ibiza or somewhere like that. And what a bell end, man.
He was doing
and he's running our country though. Can you fucking believe it?
He was doing a promotional thing for like, the cost of living crisis and everything else at this Sainsbury's petrol station. And he had to borrow someone's car. He had to borrow sort of like one of the employees' cars, because it was too expensive. Like his Mercedes that he had parked up somewhere, he had to borrow an employee's car.
Wouldn't look quite right.
No. It's like, come on.
It's all about fucking PR, isn't it? It's all about fucking.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, they're so out of touch with everything. Yeah, it doesn't matter what. Even the middle class, you know what I mean. It used to be where these people that were becoming MPs, they were usually people who've been in the Rotary Club and in their own communities and had like they had at least 20, 30 years experience in in a job, like sort of working their way up. Yeah. And then they went into politics, and nowadays it's just from Eton to Cambridge, and from Cambridge straight into office.
Yeah, they've never fucking lived.
No,
they've got no experience of the lives of the people they're ruling over.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't the first clue.
They wouldn't last a day in our lives, guys. They would not last a day.
No.
It'd be fun, man. Fucking, it'd be fun. Oh, I wish I could just fucking have one for the day, man. Have a politician for the day or the weekend. You know what I mean? Just fucking come and stay with me for a bit, man.
Guys, I think we've just created a reality TV show here, man. This sounds epic. This could.
Mate, like fucking wife swap. No, you got politician swap. Do you want a fucking Labour or a Tory?
We're both the same anyway.
Do we get to punish them? If they fuck up, can we punish them? Hey, I'm telling you, fucking listen. My house, my rules.
That would be brilliant. But joking aside, do you not think? I know I sound a bit. I don't know what the word is, conspiratorial, I suppose. But do you not think that's part of the plan as well, to make the gap so big between them and us that it's easy to swipe them out?
There's a document I've got on my page, a CIA document called Red Cell, and it goes on about how they basically sway opinion, you know, in Europe about the Afghan war, yeah, and they're saying there that they basically just table two candidates that are basically they're just useless, yeah, and they just keep lowering the quality of the candidates all the time, and they keep rigging elections, so it makes people more apathetic to the actual electoral process, and it sort of it guarantees someone who's going to be corrupt enough to just do what they ask. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the worse they get, the more disaffected people get, and the less people that actually get involved in the political process. And this just makes things far easier to rig and far easier to control. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or it did when we had paper ballots. Now it's just electronic, so it don't really matter. Yeah. But that's how they kept doing things, and this is why we get the people that we do. We get people like Macron that think that the God King, I am the God King Jupiter. He says, you journalists don't understand me because I work on a higher level than you do. This is the guy that they had touted as the first federal EU president. This is what he was getting lined up to be before Brexit happened. Yeah, he was going to be the first federal EU president, like that we had.
Was he part of that young leaders fucking setup?
Yeah, of course he was. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was well up in there. It was so far up Klaus Schwab's ass. He was waving out with his nose. He really was. Like, it's just, but yeah, so he was going to be like Europe's, you know, poster boy, Europe's sort of main president, and then we all voted to leave, which completely shocked them. They never expected that, I don't think. There's so many.
There's a question for you then, Sam. I've got a question for you. See, I'm being deadly serious here, and this is for you as well. And if this theory about them all getting wiped out and this lesser order that they're going to present is true, where they ring fence all these people, not ring fence, where they all get chucked under the bus. My question is this: do you think that Klaus Schwab and all these other people, are they being blagged there? Is somebody blagging them to say, yeah, don't worry, New World Order's coming. Don't you worry, big man. You're going to get this New World Order. And secretly they're going, can't wait to fuck that cunt under the bus. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Is that what's going on? Because these guys seem like they believe it.
You think there's another fucking tier above the New World Order? And then more above that still?
Yeah, there's 9 people that run the world. That's what I've worked out. Like,
how many?
9, and they're from 3 different families. Yeah, you get the Sassoons that have they basically own the opium trade and have done since 1820. And they're the two brothers, which are Solomon and David. They're the 2 highest ranking rabbis in Israel. Yeah, they run the sort of religious side of things, and then you get the Rothschilds that are like the public face of this trinity at the top. They run all the banking side of things, but like I said, they're the public face. So the reason why you know so much about the Rothschilds is on purpose. Yeah, it should be a first red flag. Yeah. And then on top of them, after them, you get the Picers, and the Picers are a very old sort of French Merovingian family. The actual the one that started the Picer family off in America, he was Louis XVI's son, who got smuggled out of France and lived with King George for about 20 odd years before he went off to America and then took over all of America. Everything basically they own the stock exchange, yeah, and because they own the stock exchange, they can allocate these stock bonds that every company gets, yeah. And as soon as you set up a publicly traded company, you get allocated 50,000 stock bonds, right, which is the actual value of the company, right. And the Picers own 45,000 of them straight away, so they own 95% of the company instantly. Yeah, from those 5,000 that are left, that's where you get all your shares from. Yeah, they own the land that pretty much every single sort of business in America is like built on. Yeah, they own the actual land rights to all that, and that's through owning the railroads. Yeah, they took up. Louis Picer, he took over in America in about 1890. Yeah, the mid to late 1890s, and then he came over to Britain and he basically just snuffed the Rothschilds out by buying our stock exchange. Yeah, because everything's floated on there, he instantly owns it all, and they have done since 1920. Like, and they're the three at the top. They're the three main ones. And then from there, you get filtered down, and you get all these sort of supposedly 13 bloodlines and everything else, and then you get the committee 300 below them, and CFR and trilateral, and it all filters down. But all of them know part of the plan, yeah, or they're part of the plan to get them so far. Like, but it's took me 30 odd years to work out who they were and where they come from and everything else. Like,
why? And you didn't mention Klaus Schwab, or you didn't mention Tony Blair in there, so they're all the ones getting thrown under the bus. So
yeah, well, they're
being told. They're being told that the New World Order is going to happen, aren't they? They're so sure. So somebody's tripping them up. If we're correct, I mean, we could be wrong, and we could all go out fighting and and none of this matters to us anyway because we've gone, because we ain't standing for this shit.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are the progeny of ex-Nazis anyway. And I mean, Karl Schwab is definitely, his dad was the chief engineer, I think, for the Nazis. And then you get John Paul Juncker, whose dad was just absolutely beloved by Hitler. Like the Junkers were actually given as a gift for all the stuff that he'd done, like during the war and everything else. They were given the province of Luxembourg as a gift, yeah, the Junkers. And then there's no indication that they gave it back, yeah. Every single prime minister that they've had has had some connection to the Junkers somewhere along the lines, yeah, somewhere down the line. And he was EU president at one point until he retired, and now you get Ursula von der Leyen that's been appointed, yeah. The people that were doing the Brexit negotiations have both got, again, war heroes, Nazi war heroes, as the fathers and grandfathers. Yeah, Barney A. Tusk, all them. Yeah, Verhofstadt, he's another one. His dad was a prominent Nazi. All of the EU were prominent Nazis. Yeah,
wow.
I mean, the EU was getting set up as basically a rival to the US. Yeah, there's been a plan in action for ages, and the Brexit absolutely screwed everything over. And I think that's one of the reasons why this pandemic happened. Like, loads of us that have been following this for a long time, we're expecting the pandemic to be like in about 10 years' time, in about a decade's time. Yeah. And it's all just, everything went to pot with Brexit because the EU was meant to be the sort of where the whole of the world government was by the end of things. So we were meant to start off a war with China, yeah, between the US and China, and that would bring in Russia. That would weaken all three of them, and then the EU would suddenly have their army in 2020. Yeah, our army. Yeah, mostly our army that was running it. Yeah, and then they just basically police the world and take over, and it would be another Nazi regime, a forthright regime. Yeah, and then all of a sudden Brexit happens, and they're having to scrabble everything back, having to delay it further and further and further. And eventually, I think they just cracked. They needed something to just get everything back on track. So in comes the pandemic.
Right.
Interesting. Very interesting.
This is why you know it's all fake. This is why you know it's all fake, because it's just been so rushed and so, so haphazard as they brought it in, because they weren't ready for it. It was just a last ditch effort. I mean that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? But
I like your opinion. I like it. I like that opinion. So what do you think about, so do you think then that, because we have to like, there's two things that happen, right? We're going to get this New World Order, not us, because we ain't going to be here, but everyone else gets the New World Order, or this lesser world order comes through where they keep saying this, they throw these people under the bus, man. And these people, do they not see this? I mean, a lot of people don't see this, but it does seem to me to be going that way. Are these guys just fall guys in this without realising it?
No, some of them know full well they are, I think, but they're just being sort of kind of blackmailed into it. Yeah, some of them are just hell for leather, die hard, for the program. Like, they want this to be brought in, probably been promised the earth, like on top of things, and like that's why they're willing. Whereas some of them they're not doing it willingly. Yeah, they're basically being forced into it, either by something that they've got on them, or something they've done in the past, or there's so much corruption that there's no way out of it.
There's a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that, and it does seem that way. It's like they ain't got a fucking choice. They're just got to roll with it now, because they use that tactic, don't they? They'll get something on you. They'll put you in a situation which is compromising, like, and which if it ever got out, you'd be fucking crushed anyway. So you've just got to fucking roll with it and do as you're fucking told. I do see a lot of that.
Well, those ones you can tell that their heart's not in it. I think Boris was like that, which is why they ended up having to get him out, because he was
weak.
Yeah, and he whatever they had on Boris, I don't know. It could be any number of things. Yeah, but you could tell that it wasn't really sort of. He was doing as he was told, but not really wanting to do as he was told. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they got his arm up his back.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas some of them, they're giving him money, they're giving. I forgot who. I think what's he called? Not Ted Baker. Summit Baker is a CIA guy who was on Joe Rogan ages ago, and what he said just resounded perfectly. He said that blackmail is like a last resort. What you really want to do is sweeten the deal with someone, because a happy guy is someone that will do anything you want and be quite happy with it. Whereas someone who's being blackmailed or cajoled into it, at some point they're going to stab you in the back. Yeah. He said, they'll always want out, or they'll always be looking for a way out and a way to screw you over, and so they can get out of things. Whereas he said, if you kept too sweet.
They're rolling the faces, though. Do you know what I mean? They're like fucking. They're putting the faces that are out there. They're rotating those to throw you off the fucking scent, to give you a hate figure. Do you know what I mean? So like fucking, it was Matt Hancock for a while. It was Chris Whitty for a while. It was fucking Dominic Raab for a while. Do you know what I mean? So they keep giving you a fucking hate figure, and then they'll pull that person off the pedestal, and they disappear. You know what I mean? Bill Gates has gone fucking quiet for the past little while. I've not seen or heard much of his activities. You know what I mean? But no doubt he's in the background, still up to fucking no good. But everybody was on his fucking case. You know what I mean? He was the fucking hate figure for a while, and now he's out of the public eye.
Yeah.
That's a corporate move that they do.
They throw you off the fucking scent. You know what I mean?
That's exactly why they do it. Do you know why? Because I've seen this happen in companies I've worked in. So, and other companies that I've been around and stuff. And what happens is when the shit hits the fan, they get rid of the person that caused the shit. Oh, hello. Yeah. They get rid of the person that caused the shit, because then the members of the company or the customers, they can't blame the new person like they could blame the last person, because the new person didn't do it. It was the last person. So it's a very clever move where they put somebody else in to be the director or the manager of the company that didn't fuck up before. And they do it on purpose in the corporate world, because you can't be as mad with the new person, because he's trying to fix this. The person before was the one who fucked it. So it's a psychological thing that they do. And I don't know whether that's what they're doing now, but they definitely do that in corporate companies.
Well, they say that in government all the time, don't they? You know, I mean, we've inherited a fucking shitstorm, and we got to now pick up the pieces. So they post themselves as the savior, the good guys. We're coming to fucking fix things. And in actual fact, you're just perpetuating the fucking bollocks, mate. You're on the same fucking, it's two wings of the same bird. You pick one. There's no fucking point in making that choice.
Two cheeks of the same half. Yeah.
If you've got to choose between a wanker and a cunt, what's the fucking? It ain't much of a choice.
Just choose the asshole in the middle.
Well, that's what you've got to do. You know what I mean? Sometimes you've got to just choose the lesser of two evils. It's like going back to what you were saying, Matt. Fucking yeah.
That's what they're doing across the world, though, aren't they? I mean, they are. People are slipping out of the positions they were in. People are stepping down.
The whole stage is what they're saying, and it fucking is.
I wish someone would write a new script.
Yeah, man. This one's getting a bit fucking old, man.
It is, man. Maybe that's what we're meant to do. Maybe we're the people that are meant to write the scripts. I don't know. I didn't really think I'd be doing this. If you asked me this 3-4 years ago, I'd be like, not a chance. Do you know what I mean? But this is where we're all at. So.
If you're writing it, fucking write me in a body transplant, please.
Sam's thinking, what you want to put in for, Sam? But no, I don't know if you can write down the script, but something needs to happen. And I kind of think that even this now, everything we're doing, I think it's all part of it, guys. And I think that it's gonna change. It is, because it's logical. You can't keep going that way, the way that they've been going for the last couple of years, because you end up with nothing. You end up with all the people that stand against you, either being guerrillas, doing guerrilla warfare somewhere in the maddest forms you've ever, street warfare, like you've seen this happen, or those people disappear and you're left with just that group of people that are going to be dying, it seems anyway, from what they've taken. So it's kind of, there's a lot of non-logical things here. And if you use logic, it makes sense that natural immunity was coming back in. It makes sense that, you know, how they're talking now. It makes sense that eventually there's going to be an investigation. All this stuff makes logical sense because the things that have happened are not normal, so they need to be investigated. So it was just a case of waiting, not panicking, when all that, and wait for the dust to settle.
The thing is, we're all thinking that these people think logically, or that are at the top, and a lot of the time you see, I mean, who was it? I've forgotten who it was now that said that psychopaths don't think logically. Logic doesn't work with them. It's impulse a lot of the time.
Well, I read something where they say that you've got to look at the outcome as the objective. Yeah. If you think it's a fucking shambles and oh, everything's gone to shit and they kind of wanted this, the outcome usually is what they wanted. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like you were saying about the information coming out, it's intentional. Do you know what I mean? There will be an investigation. It's intentional and it's fucking timed. You know what I mean? It's coming through in stages, and a lot of people have predicted every step of this going through it. Like unbelievable predictions, like, okay, they've done this and this is what they're going to do next, and this is the next stage, and this is the next stage, and it's like, fucking hell, how do you know that? Because it is written down as a fucking script. I mean, it's step by step fucking.
That's the logic part that I was meaning. Like, so logically, they're never going to keep it the way it was, because it's not.
It's not working. It can't work.
And it's not for them. It's not for them. What you know, so there's sometimes I can't explain myself properly, but like, you're right, and you're right, Sam. Like, it's you've got to follow, or you've got to try and predict their timeline. And a lot of us have been saying for a long time, this isn't going to last as it is to just withstand the storm kind of thing. And it will all start petering down. And it, you know, I know it's been tough for people across the world, but it didn't take that long. If people were just able to just hold on for a bit longer, you know, it happened this year, especially in the UK. It happened where the narrative, it is changing. I mean, things like Dr. John, I know some people say is this, is that, but to me, I don't look at it one way or another. I look at it, this is the information coming out now. This is what GB News are saying now. This is what the Telegraph is now reporting on. So that tells me, logically, I think, the rest of the newspapers are going to be talking about it soon. It's going to be on TV. It's going to be here. It's going to be there. And you've told me this, Sam, and so have a lot of other people. A lot of these twats, if that's the best word to call them, a lot of these people in these cults, if people's the right word, they want the big reveal. They like to reveal stuff. They like to do all this. This is part of it. And they'd like nothing better, in my opinion, than to throw Klaus Schwab and everyone else under the bus. I know it sounds nuts, but they'd be like, ha ha, you got caught by your own cult. They're like that. These mad fuckers are like that.
Yeah.
It's too slow, though. It's too slow. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking sit back and wait for all the information to fucking drip down to people's final fucking realization that they've been fucking shafted. I don't want to wait for that. Do you know what I mean? Because the whole time people are dying, and more people are going to die and will continue to die while we fucking wait for it. Do you know what I mean? I think
it's next year, and I think next year I've got a vid that I'm going to be doing in a few weeks, man, and it should be out for the 1st of January.
That's the year of people dying, man.
Well, no, it's 3 months away. 2 months away. It's 2 months away. So I think it's coming fast, mate. I really do. I think by this time next year, we should be sat there with everything out, all of it out. I really, really do. And they're gonna fucking rude awaken all those people that don't want to look into this. They're going to rude awaken them so their head's spinning like this, where they're like, holy fuck, how did this happen? That's what I think's going to happen.
It's sad to say, and I know it sounds a bit harsh, but it's going to be all these people that are dropping. That's going to wake a lot of people up, because they're going to have no choice. They're going to have no choice.
It's the same with the football.
Yeah,
but it's so obvious in the football, like with what Matt Letitia's putting out. The fucking what is it, like 300% rise in fucking footballers dropping, clutching their chests, and FIFA aren't even asking, not showing any concern to even be bothered to ask the question. What might it be?
They know the answer.
No. But what they're telling us, though, is that the only thing they do know is that it's not the vaccine, although they've not even fucking checked either way. They're saying that the only thing that they know it's not is that, and we're not going to even bother looking into it. As soon as he gets cancelled off every fucking platform and discredited as a fucking head case and a fucking conspiracy theorist, when he's one of the most switched on fucking blokes I've heard speak. You know what I mean? He's not shouting it from the rooftops like he's some fucking loony. He's just fucking showing evidence, information, and saying, can we at least look into this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's perfectly fucking reasonable to say, people are dying. Can we see why? Can we ask why? But it's fucking pushed the other way.
Andy, you never know. It could be him, you, Sam, me, all the other people we follow. It could be all of that, all the individuals that have made these investigations happen a bit faster, because they are happening in the UK. I mean, we've all seen they're trying to bring the investigation forward.
Who are those people that we watched the other day? I shared it with you. The lady with the short dark hair and the shorter guy with the skinhead.
That's the European Parliament. That's that Teres guy. I think his name's Teres, and the woman who they're not stopping. I mean, Sam will know more about that, but they're not stopping. They are literally going for this right to the end, and the same's happening in the UK.
They seem legit. They seem to have enough clout to be able to fucking put this in the forefront. Do you know what I mean? And they mean business. That woman is fucking exceptional. She means business. She don't fuck about. You know what I mean? I like that.
They said they're not stopping, didn't they? They said they are going to keep going with this and then not stopping.
Yeah, I mean, they've been having those hearings, haven't they? And like none of the top brass. Well, Moderna's CEO turned up, but Pfizer's won't. He won't turn up at all. He sent some lackey. And,
well, didn't that bird admit that the fucking it was never ever tested for transmissibility?
Yeah, it was never tested for that. In fact, I don't think it was. To be honest, most of the results, have been faked. There was a whole testing centre, for for the trials, a whole trial centre. It had something like 44,000 people in this trial centre, but there was no country of origin. There was nothing. It turned out it was fake. That was what boosted the numbers up that they had. To get it past the EUA, and all of it were fake. The guy, there was
the PCR test was fucking deemed inadequate, and they took that off the fucking shelf. And they
you guys heard Norman Fenton? That's what Norman Fenton says, and he talks exactly about that. He's a UK statistician who was on the board of everything.
All of these things are what the fucking politicians were coming on the telly and fucking. That's what they based their fucking bullshit on. They lied to fucking everybody around the world based on these fucking things that they knew were bullshit. They knew were fucking lies.
Yeah,
it's like Carrie Mullis. I really do think he was killed off. Yeah, but because he died in I think it was mid to late 2019, just before all this happened. Yeah, and he invented the PCR test. Last time he was there calling Fauci out, saying you can't use it for this because it's not a diagnostic tool. It's a research tool and everything else. And he was that vocal that it ended up just completely killing off that swine flu pandemic. Yeah, just by him just coming out and saying that, and then all of a sudden he dies of a heart attack in mid 2019, and then all starts happening.
Well, he pointed out, didn't he? He pointed out that you can manipulate the results of those tests by fucking upping the cycle. I think it was like 30,000 to 40,000 or something, the numbers that were on the chart. But he said that you can make this test tell you whatever the fuck you want it to.
Yeah. Well, it just adds more genetic material of the same kind to whatever you're looking for. Yeah.
Which is there. It's fucking. It's there in all of us.
Yeah.
It's dead material or something. They were saying that they're looking for dead material, which is present in every human body. And if you run the cycles at fucking a high enough cycle, you can find every single human body.
Yeah, yeah. You can find it everywhere.
Ridiculous the way they manipulated this shit and fucking and convinced people.
Yeah.
It baffles me that people are so fucking stupid, because I'm no fucking academic, mate. I'm really not. I'm thick as pig shit. But it baffles me that the fucking main bulk of society have been sucked in and believe this bullshit when the information is there to prove that it was all a pack of fucking lies, and they're still lapping it up, man. It tells me that they are actually fucking brainwashed.
Yeah, they are.
You know what?
They must be.
It's like though. Go on, you go, Sam.
Well, I was just going to say this is why the first thing they did were bringing, like, instead of bringing in sort of virologists and epidemiologists, the first thing they did were bring in spin doctors, marketing firms, psychologists. Like 70% of SAGE, our sort of our emergency committee, psychologists, military psychologists, So it's like, why is that then? Why is that? You know what I mean? I mean, these guys are more used to sort of swaying populations in war-torn areas like Iraq and stuff like that. In fact, a lot of what they did, a lot of the techniques. I've got all these documents on my page. Were actually sort of developed and tested in Iraq. Most of the techniques that they were using, all the fear techniques and everything else, you can actually just track them all back. It's insane. It's insane. Like,
guys, what Andy said and what Sam is saying, jeez, I don't even know what to say. That's the proof that this was all constructed nonsense put together. I mean, you're talking about if you're watching this, go back and just listen to what Andy and Sam just said. There's your proof that this was nonsense from the start.
I don't get how the whole thing it has been based on bullshit that they knew, and we can fucking prove that they knew from the fucking get-go.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? But even with the evidence out there, most people are still fucking. It baffles me. It really fucking baffles me.
This is the thing with them, because they've had 100 years of like working out people's psychology and the group psychology and everything else. I mean, they've got a whole unit called the nudge unit, which is just basically based around how to like nudge people a certain way, to get a certain response out of different groups of people. There's a document, Mindspace is called, and it goes into all of this, how they use the press, and how they sort of cut people, do what they've been doing, cut people off that are actually sort of aware of what's going on, and like sort of batter them down and keep the propaganda. They kind of release two sorts of sets of propaganda, one set against, one set for, and they do that to sow confusion. And the weird thing is that when you sow confusion in someone's mind, they'll instantly sort of more gravitate towards the authority figure rather than the other person that, the average Joe on the street, or what they perceive as the average Joe on the street. So this is why, because some people are so confused and not sure which way to go, they just gravitate towards the government standpoint rather than ours. Even though ours made more sense, it was too baffling for them, so they just went off.
Trauma as well. Trauma is a big one. I've read some of those things myself, and mainly on your pages actually. But and anyone, if you're watching this, get yourself onto Sam Fisher Data Drops, because he has tons of documents on there, actual documents that you can read. But I've read stuff on there to do with trauma. And I was chatting on the chat the other day, the MCK chat with Burgess and everyone, and even Burgess said speak to Sam about that, because like everything that's happened is exactly as you said. They've done it in a way to make people think this or make people think that. But you know what's happened of it? And I know I keep banging on about this. I'm so sorry, but there's a group of us who seem to be like not the cream rising to the top, but it's similar to that, where we've not gone that way or that way. We've gone, hold on a minute, it's all bullshit. And they would have known that would have happened in every test they've ever done, every psychological test. There's always going to be a band of people that don't listen, that become stronger, that still stand even stronger after it. And they know this. And I can't help but think there's a part of this to that. That's my thoughts.
I think it's
done it again. Story.
all right.
No, I'm just gonna. What time is it? What time is it, Matt?
It is 10 to 2. What time? See, but I'm so sorry. I keep dropping them, guys. But it's
all right.
I can't help but thinking this, because, and also about the breaking. You know, you break things. We've talked about this before, and I just don't mean to sound like a broken record, but these people, they break things and then they break them to make them better. And I'm not agreeing with any of it. I'm not agreeing with any of the shit that they've done, but everything that they've done from a psychological point of view, or a previous CIA test or anything else, whatever they've done, they knew for a fact there would be a group of us that would go, no, nah, it's not happening. And in the past, in our history, we're always taught that those people are rounded up and, do you know what I mean? Or they end up guerrilla warfare for years and years and years, fighting on the streets and whatever. I don't want that to happen, but that ain't happened with this. And it would have been the easiest thing to do a year ago, to round up all of us and go, hey, but they didn't. Why didn't they do that? If the aim, I don't know where I'm going with this, but basically we're an after effect of this, and every single test they've ever done would have known that there is always a group of people that withstand the bullshit.
I think there was far more of us though than they expected. I think that's one of the things. Plus, to get us all shipped off into camps and everything else, they need that martial law situation, which you just couldn't get. And I don't think they expected that part of it. I think they were expecting us to actually start kicking off, so then they could bring the army in and just enforce everything through there. Yeah, we
were smart on chats though, weren't we? We were smart. Yeah. We were all saying, "Keep your cool, don't go, protest silently." Go there, yeah.
Because the very fact that we didn't, I think that we just totally sort of knocked them by the wayside. I think it knocked them for 6, because they've been scrabbling back ever sins. Yeah,
they expected a mob.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't get one. And I think it's partly due to the fact that the people that they've got, working out all the psychology of these groups and everything else, they're a small minority that are trained by their own education system, which they fucked up in the first place. Right? So it's going to be kind of obvious.
It's flawed.
It's flawed anyway. Yeah, and so they didn't really take human nature into account. Yeah, that some of us are just so pig-headed and just don't trust them anyway. That we're not going to do what they say, whether they like it.
Regardless.
Yeah, regardless. But there was more of us than they thought. I think. I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's a factor of badly educated psychologists that they've got on the board, and our pig-headedness sort of like swayed things. I think.
Yeah. I think the human side of it, I mean, they massively underestimated us.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but fucking, they're gonna have to work hard to shut me the fuck up.
Yeah. This is just it. A computer can't predict like someone's state of mind or the way someone's going to think. This is why humans will always outdo a computer at the end of the day at some point, because we're so unpredictable. So some of us are very predictable, but there's like a small minority that you just can't predict. They'll just do things on a whim without even thinking about it. Yeah, it'll just fly against every bit of data that you've got on them. You know what I mean? They'll just turn around.
That's me.
Yeah,
that's me. That's you. That's Andy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. I think this is probably one thing that surprised them more than anything. Like it's fucked them up. It's fucked them up.
Well, that's a nice little victory for us. I feel good. That's a nice little buzz. Fuck them.
Oh, mate, you know, it feels fucking good telling them, you know what I mean, fucking... Did you go on any of the protests?
Who, me? I couldn't get down. I couldn't really get down to any. We've got things at home that make it a bit sort of impossible to get there, really.
I had it. I was all right. Fucking work were quite flexible, and I took my eldest to London. Fucking hell, that was in the middle of summer, and then when we got back, and my youngest he wanted to come along. So then the next time I took the two of them down there, and it was an experience. I'm glad that they both had, because it was a big moment, man. There was a 1.5 million people plus down fucking towards fucking Trafalgar Road, Trafalgar Square. I've got a photo of fucking Ryan up on these big, I think they're brass fucking lions or something, man. Huge, and fucking Ryan's up there astride one with a huge plaque fucking saying like no to fucking vaccine passports and fucking mask mandates and all this shit, man. Fucking it was I'm glad they were there, because when things do finally pan out, whichever way it's going to be, they're going to know what, you know what I mean, fucking what's gone down. They're well aware, you know, fucking
what, like how people are feeling and what it's like to fight. This is something else that was really sneaky after that. Was it the B20 meetings? And they've sort of slyly started putting in place vaccine passports for travel, like right. And it's like, you sneaky motherfuckers.
I thought they'd backtracked on that one.
They're still bringing them in. They need them for the actual digital currencies to be brought in. They both go hand in hand. So without one, they can't have the other. Yeah. So they sort of gerrymandered them in. Yeah, like just with a shittest excuse ever. You know, what about the next pandemic? We'll still need people to freely move, but we'll need to know that they've been vaccinated and blah blah blah. It's like bullshit. Come on.
It's digital ID, isn't it? It's getting everybody on the phone digital.
This is what they needed. Like I said, it's the only they need them to bring in the currencies, and without them, they can't bring in the digital currency. It's simple as. So they're trying nonsensical measures just to like get everything back on track after being delayed so many times again. Yeah.
But Sam, think about it, Andy. Like, I'm sorry, my brain works at this, but I'm not as well. I'm not sorry, but we're always going back to square one here, yeah, right? So they're going to bring in digital passports. This is what they're going to say, and it's going to show your vaccination status. Okay, I'm not going to get one. No. You're not going to get one. Andy's not. So we're still back to square one, where you've got the 30% of the world that are going to go, fuck you, man. So it doesn't matter which way. So what are these passports for? Are they just to show who's vaccinated and not? Because that's where my brain's thinking. I think this is a clever way to show who's unvaccinated. And I think in the future, not in a bad way. I think this is, I don't know, man. I think
the meant to have all your information on. All your medical records, all your financial records, all your driving, all your government documents and everything else on one passport. But I mean, there's so many protests going on in Europe right now. Yeah, just over these passports alone. Yeah, like our mainstream media won't tell you about. Yeah, you got to go to places like Telegram and everywhere else to find out about them. But they're all happening, all happening in Europe at the moment, because they're like, fuck off, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Especially in places like Romania and everything else. That skinhead guy, I've forgotten his name now. He's a Romanian MEP. And like
Terrorist.
Yeah. And the Romanians and the Poles and they've been under stuff like that, with the USSR, so they know full well what tyranny is like, and they don't want it.
Yeah.
They don't want it. They're well kicking off about it at the minute. Proper kicking off about it. Yeah. I mean, To be fair, even though they're saying they're going to do this, I don't think they're going to be able to get them through because no one wants them. No one wants them. No one thinks there's any point in them. Yeah, what they need is they need something else again that'll distract us. Like, I mean, they're trying to use COVID again at the minute, but everyone's just like, oh, fuck off, we don't care. Yeah, you can just see it in the public that they've just had enough. Yeah, they've just got to that point now where it's like bollocks to you. Yeah, like we're not having it.